This is it, episode 582, No Laugh Track podcast here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're at Acme Comedy Company, and I'm Justin Severson. I get to host this each and every week, including fun weeks like this where it's a first-time guest and a long-time repeat guest. Carmen Lynch and
I sound old, yeah.
Go back to when I think you were a preteen when we met. You were doing the stage, is that right?
Yes, I was 12. I was 12 when I got the Tonight Show.
That's right, yes. Still very proud of that, I'm sure. No, I think the first time you and I did this, Carmen, was back in like 2014.
Oh my gosh.
That means that, because the first time I was here, I co-headlined with Dan St. Germain.
Yes.
So did we go on together?
So here's the thing. By the way, let me introduce Andrew Schiavone as well here.
It's okay. We can go into memory lane. You know, you don't need me.
No. You're going to come back next year. We'll have all these memories.
Okay,
right?
great.
Yeah, perfect. I'm counting the one we did with Dan St. Germain, but if you remember correctly, there was an audio issue, and that one doesn't exist.
Oh.
We sat here and recorded for an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And no one heard it but the three of us.
Wow. Lost files.
It's like
Lost files.
It's a Snapchat.
Exactly.
Went away forever.
Exactly. So thank you, guys. I was at the show tonight, or last night, I mean. I'm not going to be here tonight. I was here last night. It was awesome.
Great.
We're going to talk all about that.
Ooh.
Andrew, I have to tell you that when I heard your name introduced as the feature, I was like, hey, what? What a cool surprise. I know who that is.
How do you know who that is?
Because I have seen you and heard your name mentioned many times on Tuesdays with Stories.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's a tough reputation because they had me do one of their first live Patreons after the pandemic, and I didn't know what their show was, and I didn't know I was going to be there for an hour and a half. So toward the end, I was just sitting there, and they were like, hey, Schiavone, what are you going to do? You're doing nothing. And I would just say something, and they go, you stink. and then they went on their podcast and said, Schiavone really took a stinker on there, real stinkeroony. And it was on the Patreon, so they couldn't even listen for themselves, you know, the main listeners. So.
And I'm a Patreon member, so I
Oh,
see
great.
it all. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you were in the deep, yeah. And then they had me on. I feel like the second time was better, but my reputation of the show has already been tainted.
Yeah, I mean, you walk in here today, and that's that's your reputation.
Mark Norman saying, Schiavone stinks.
Comedy.
Comedy.
That's right.
I don't have a soul.
No, I know that you do shows with those guys a lot. Or Joe, right? Takes you on the road?
It's funny, like he asked me to do his bar show. He has a new bar show downtown, but I was in Acme on Wednesday.
He asked me to do the same show.
Yeah.
We would have both done it.
And then the lineup was Louis, Tim Dillon.
What?
It
Come
was like a crazy
on!
lineup. It would have been. So I'm glad I could have been
man.
here with Sean Gordon or whatever his name. What's his name? Nordon.
Oh, you're
The host.
The host?
Yeah.
Sean Nafstad.
Nafstad.
Yeah.
Close enough, yeah.
Sean.
Sean, yeah. Glad I could be here with Sean and Carmen.
That's so funny that we were both going to be on that show.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Wait a minute. Who got asked first?
I don't know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
The point is, will we get asked second again?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
It's on the last Wednesday of every month, and I'm gonna be in Denver that Wednesday. So I'm sure that's the Wednesday when they have like RuPaul and every famous person on earth.
Someone
Kevin
else you want to
Hart.
meet
Chris
really
Rock.
badly, you're saying?
Yeah, my comedy idol RuPaul.
Everyone in your Mount Rushmore of comedy. Louis last week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll be at the
RuPaul
Denver
next.
Funny Bone.
How long have you two been touring together?
When
More than
was our
just since
first
Wednesday, I
time?
know.
It was 2022.
It was?
This January. We went to Governors together.
That was our first one?
Yeah, I remember.
I thought it was before Governors. Yeah, we've done a couple of
Or maybe it was.
randos and then a couple of, big ones like this.
Okay.
We'll do one-nighters. I mean, look, Andrew's a great comic, but he also has a car.
Yeah.
And I go after funny, but also safe driver. And I've had some psychos.
I didn't know that.
So Andrew's a safe driver. So that's
I'm
why
10
he
and
keeps
2.
getting called back. Yes.
I'm 10 and 2 all day.
Yeah.
Hearing that now, do you feel pressure the next time you're behind the wheel and she's in the passenger seat? Like, not, she's probably judging me right now.
I have no other ability. I can't drive crazy. I've driven comics where they're like, come on, Schiavone, what are we in the Rose Bowl parade? I'm like, what? I'm not insane.
I would love.
Love
I'd
it.
rather have a grandfather drive, but he's not grandfather. Like he's safe. You know, he's not a psycho.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. That's rare these days. The roads
Yeah.
are wild. That's rare.
Well, I'm older. You know, when I was 16, I'd be a lunatic, and we got a speeding ticket.
Sure.
It changed my life.
How?
Never again.
Same.
Yeah,
How,
I feel like
when
that's
you
the
got
rule.
a speeding ticket, how fast were you going?
I was going really over the speed limit. It was like a reckless driving charge. I think it was
Oh, that's like 30 over, isn't it? 20
it was
to
30. Yeah, it was like 30 or 35 over.
Way to go.
And my parents were like, "Oh, what the hell?" Because I was only driving for a week.
Oh my God.
But when
Everyone has to have a reckless though, at least one.
Yeah.
yeah, and then but when you get the license, you're like, "Oh my God, the first taste of freedom since I came out of the womb."
Who paid that ticket?
Probably my mom. I didn't have a job.
Oh.
I know.
It's embarrassing. Like I'll go home and borrow my dad's car, and then a month later they're like, "We got a ticket in the mail," and it's like I went through a red light, and I'm like, "Oh God, it's so embarrassing to be like scolded at this age." And then my dad's like, "I'm gonna pay it, all right, but not next time." I'm like, "Thanks, Dad."
Is that a surprise to you too? Like you didn't know you went through the light, or you're just like
yeah,
taking
or
chances?
it was like I don't always take a chance, but you know, I saw it as yellow, and then it went red, and I was like, they'll be fine, you know. And then you got
rolled
one.
the dice.
Yeah,
How far back do you two go, like friendship wise? You met in New York, I'm guessing.
probably the same as the opening, right? Like,
Yeah, I don't think I ever met you before that.
No, although I did go to your wedding, so I feel special.
It's been accelerated, yeah. My wedding happened 2024, so 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've been in the car together for a collective total of like 6 months. I
Yeah.
feel like between 8-hour drives, 8-hour drives,
Yes.
that you bond.
Yeah, he's met my niece. Like we talk about people.
Sure.
You know, we do stuff.
I got one more question about that. Then who controls what you listen to? Take turns.
I have Carmen do it. Sometimes it's just dead silence.
Yeah, because we have a really good conversation, and we're catching up on gossip in the community.
Because I feel like when you first meet somebody, you feel them out. You don't want to like play some music that they'll just like politely agree to, but then hate. So then,
Right.
So the first couple of times we were in the car for 8 hours, it was complete silence because I was afraid to put on music, and I think she was too.
Yeah, I
and-
mean, yeah.
Is anyone shy with taking a bathroom break or anything?
No.
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 No, that's good.
He didn't play the Go-Go's until like 3 years later.
Yeah. I love the Go-Go's.
Same.
I love the Go-Go's, the B-52s, anything that's mildly homosexual, I love.
I've told this on the podcast before, but I remember you could go into stores and buy CDs. Remember that was a
Yeah,
thing?
Tower Records.
So I went to a Best Buy, 20 years ago or whatever, looking for a CD with a particular song, and I didn't know the name of the song or the artist, so I just sang a couple bars of Tainted Love to the
Oh,
guy.
nice.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, we have that.
song.
Soft Cell. It's right over here."
Yeah.
Wow. What service? You don't have that anymore.
No. No, not at all. Not at all. All right, let's do so. On my drive over here, my wife sent me a text with a video here, and it literally says, where'd it go? It says, "Watch this with Carmen and Andrew.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's gold."
Okay.
She's calling this gold. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hand one of you the phone, and then you hold it up to the mic. And
Carmen's
then
got longer arms.
so you can watch it.
Carmen's got
all
like
right?
Inspector Gadget
Here we
arms.
go.
So I'm gonna-
Look at how long those arms are.
Still moving. Still moving.
I'm 10 feet away, and Carmen can reach it. It's amazing. All right, so there you go.
So we can watch it?
Yeah, so go ahead and hold the mic up so it'll play, so we can hear it, and then. Is it working? Uh-oh.
Wait, can
Well,
I
you got to you got to hit that volume thing.
Oh my God, I'm starting over.
Here
Come
we go.
here. Will you tell me what word you were just spelling?
My wife and
Will
daughter.
you spell it again? Go spell it for Mom.
That's my mother-in-law. What are you spelling?
Cock.
What?
That's
This
it.
is-
You can stop it there.
Oh my God.
You got to post that on TikTok.
Is that's your daughter saying that?
yes.
That's huge.
Look, you are sitting on
That's
gold.
gold.
You got to put that out to the
That's
world.
viral.
What the hell?
You could be on Ellen after that.
I love that.
She'll bring the show back
AAA.
just to have me on?
Yeah, to bring the cock woman back.
AAA spells cock.
So that spelling is like she only knows how her name is Eliana, and she only knows how to spell her name. So that AAII whatever NN is just letters in her name.
Oh, that's
That's
so
what
cute.
that comes from. But cock? No clue where that word is coming from.
The rooster.
I mean, obviously.
I hope.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, yeah.
I hope. I don't know.
So anyway.
I don't know who her babysitter
I say
is.
put that kid on. That kid's gonna make you rich.
Yeah,
Oh.
monetize.
Put her on there.
The first two haven't yet, so.
Your daughter could be the next Rizzler. the cockler.
I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want that. Let's talk about last night. Let's see. The show was fantastic, as we mentioned.
Yeah, tell everyone that Mark Norman isn't true. I don't stink. Tell them.
No,
It was a-
absolutely not. No, thoroughly impressed. Many laughs. Many laughs. You guys, fingering both came up from both of you last night. I thought that was
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know that's our lane. We love it.
I
Is that
only
where you bonded
bring-
over in the car? Talking.
I
We
only
did.
bring
We did talk
openers who finger only.
We do talk about it.
Do you have any fingering material? I do, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Well, I mean, it's a ripe old egg.
Yep.
A lot of things there. I'm upset though because I was telling Carmen this, and I'll get it out on this pod, but
Here we go.
one of the punchlines in my fingering joke, Bert Kreischer told on a podcast, but he didn't. I think he stole it from me, and it went viral. And somebody sent it to me like, Bert Kreischer stole your joke. I'm like, maybe he did.
Well,
Let's-
now you know what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to start taking your shirt off.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start drinking and being fat.
Go back in your social media. Is there a picture of you with no shirt on from like 10 years ago or something?
Did
You can
he
say
steal it
he
from
stole
me?
that from you too.
Yeah, I used to be called the Machine in college. So weird.
Can you say what's the exact line that he took?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, so I said I put my finger in and I didn't move it around. It just looked like I was taking her temperature. And literally word for word, that's the joke. Maybe it's just something people say. It's just very weird because we run in similar circles. I don't know him.
That's a tricky one. I have a joke that I used to do about someone putting a stick in a horse's butt. And
Somebody did that?
yeah, and I thought I was on a horse and carriage ride, and they lifted up the tail and stuck a stick in there, and I was like, "Is this how you start the horse?" And the guy was like, "No, I'm taking its temperature." Like,
Oh,
but it's different.
that's funny.
But
somebody did
I mean,
that?
it's longer than that. No, but I'm just saying, you never know. But that sounds very specific.
But
what
somebody
yours-
stole that. So
Yeah.
no one took that joke from you?
No, I'm just saying that the sticking the finger in the temperature.
Oh.
I came like that,
that-
can be.
But that was an actual conversation you had.
Yeah.
It wasn't a punchline. Bert, I'm coming for you. I'm
Yep.
gonna make a YouTube expose when I say every one of my jokes, where every clip I can find where I'm saying that punchline, and then I'm gonna do his.
Yes.
And then I think the internet hates him enough where it might go viral.
Do you have that joke?
I mean, 2 years ago.
I've been doing that joke for like 8 years. So
Well, do you have that recorded 8 years ago or long? Like
I'm sure somewhere.
See,
I have to dig
that's
up my
proof.
VHS.
That's proof.
Interesting. There are YouTube accounts that are strictly like based on uncovering crap like this. You know.
And hating Bert Kreischer.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
that too.
YouTubers that just
Really?
making a living off of trashing him.
Yes.
And-
Absolutely.
And that other guy who was UFC, you know him, right? The guy who started who was in
Dana White. You mean?
No, not maybe it wasn't UFC.
Oh, he.
It was maybe something else. The guy who
Jason Ellis.
No. The guy everyone hates.
Elon Musk.
No.
Donald Trump.
He has a podcast, The Fighter and the Kid.
Oh, Brandon Schaub and
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's a comic. With who?
That guy's a comic. I don't know who he does the podcast
Oh.
with, but there was YouTubers who made a fortune trashing that guy, and then that guy quit comedy. The YouTube community crushed his soul.
Damn.
Wait, it worked?
It worked. He announced, and it's on my algorithm. He's like, yeah, I think I'm going to take a step back. They
Wow.
they trashed him so much that he gave up.
Well, good job, internet. And people,
Yeah, so
internet
it can
people,
happen.
People outspoken on the internet usually suck, right? It's usually for something negative that we don't like. But yeah, excellent. Every
Yeah.
once in a while.
So sometimes
So there's hope.
There's hope. I mean, I feel bad for him. Maybe he did. Maybe he could have kept going.
You know what? Keep doing your fingering joke.
Well, I did it last
really
night.
Funny, yeah, but it's got to be. Fuck it, just do it. Is
Well,
it in your new special?
It is, and
Good.
it's not out yet.
So
So
who cares?
Bert beat me.
So I was going to ask you about that. I saw online that you had recorded a special,
Yes,
but it's not out yet.
it's not out yet. Yeah.
What's the story?
The story is I filmed a special. This production company filmed like a showcase show where they were going to put it on YouTube, and they asked me to do a full special, and I said yes. And we did one in like a theater in the South that they had. And then I thought it was just going to go on YouTube, and then they're like, oh, what do you think if this went on Hulu? And I was like, what? Yeah. And they're like, okay, great. Well, then we got to re-record it because the lighting sucks. So then I had to re-record the special 6 months later in October. I did the special first in April, and then I re-recorded it in October.
Holy
and now I'm
crap.
just still waiting. But now I don't even think that's going to happen because I feel like I don't know. I just don't. I'm losing steam now in my confidence.
Can you get it back to just putting it on YouTube? Or?
Yeah. That's always an option.
Okay.
But now it's been so long. Now Bert Kreischer's stealing all the jokes. It's like,
Yeah, does he have a hand in like holding this up while he
Maybe.
memorizes the jokes?
yeah, he's just doing podcast clips. He's just reading the transcript.
Oh my god.
busted right here, right now. Perfect. You had a special come out since last time you were here, Carmen.
I had a special Queef Week that came out. It came out about a year ago,
Yeah.
and then I had the Spanish one come out at the same time, and that one's on YouTube as well.
Is that called Queef
No,
Week
because
in Spanish?
no, because remember that there's no word for queef.
That's right.
Oh, you wanted me to tell you. Queef Week is La Semana del Pedo Vaginal. The week of the vaginal fart is what it's called.
Oh, wow. Poetic.
And that just doesn't sound right for a special. So
So you called it Queefo?
El
Queefo.
La Semana del Queefo. But yeah, I'm looking to shoot one this year, maybe later in the year.
Okay.
But I'm still thinking about where and stuff, and I don't know.
Another one in English and in Spanish, or what?
I don't know. I'm not going to do them at the same time. That was a little stressful.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe English. Wait a little bit, then Spanish.
Right on.
Spread it out.
Right on. Very exciting.
Yeah.
No plans set for that yet, though.
No.
Okay.
I like to
Gang-
procrastinate in my life.
It's easy. It's easy. The consequences aren't always great, but boy, it sure is easy, right? Both of you, I know at least one of you mentioned rats. Oh, you did, Carmen, on stage
I
last
mentioned
night.
rats, yeah.
Yes. And that was a topic that came up last time you were here. But I searched.
Wow.
I searched online today to see
Yeah.
if there's any new stories about rats in New York, and I have a couple for you guys. I want your
Oh,
opinions
wow.
on
All
them.
right.
Maybe you know this place. A beloved Upper West Side grocery store dramatically shut down Monday after inspectors allegedly found the shop crawling with vermin, its staff hawking 7-year-old expired cheese, and rats nesting in coolers and boxes of prosciutto.
Oh my God.
You didn't hear about that story?
No.
Oh, yeah.
The
Where was
popular Barzini's.
Yeah, it's an Upper West Side.
They were allegedly operating illegally for a week before the disclosure in a bizarre act of defiance, even though the state officials say a dead rat was found under the deli sink, bread was found with gnaw marks, and grain was infested with beetles.
Ew, beetles.
Ew,
not even
beetles, there's rats.
It's not beetles is not even a normal pest. They have to like import that pest.
Right?
It's like a science project.
Ew. So what happened? They're gone forever?
More than 750 specimens of fresh and old rat droppings were also discovered around the establishment. I want to know about, did a guy literally have to count that piece by piece?
I think
like-
he rounded because 750 is too exact.
They brought in like a Rain Man type who just looked at it, all the turds.
Yeah, leave him there. I'll count him.
750 turds.
My wife used to live near Barzini's, but there was another grocery store called Broadway Farms, and we would go there because they would post a printout of a security footage of the shoplifters and what they stole and how they stole it. And it was always funny to come in and see what was new. There was a guy, our favorite one, he would stick tuna cans in his pants. And they called him the tuna can man.
Love it.
The tuna can man.
Love it.
That's great.
And they had a picture of him just putting the tuna cans in his pants. I just thought it was so funny because tuna is $1.
Yeah.
You're going to just stuff your pants with cans?
That reminds me of that Jane's Addiction video, Ben Caught Stealing, 30 years ago, where the woman's in the grocery store and she's like shoving a Subway, fucking like a hoagie up her dress. What the fuck?
I was just reading about Jane's Addiction, about how they were like the first big grunge band to come out. I don't know if that's like your era or what. You like Soft Cell, so they were like the
little
first.
both.
You wouldn't think you would think Nirvana, but it was Jane's Addiction.
Yeah, they were a little bit older. Yeah,
They were.
They were their Been Caught Stealing came out in 1990, and then Smells Like Teen Spirit I think came out.
Yeah, they were close, but yeah, Jane's Addiction was a little bit older. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just completely blew it because the guy's a jerk and they're addicted to heroin.
Yeah. Old heroin will get in the way every now and then. I want to finish this up and say that efforts to reopen legally over at Barzini's, they're underway, and that exterminators have already laid 100 traps in the basement. So if you want to go back soon, I think they got it taken care of.
Who would
great.
ever step foot again in there? You know?
Yeah, I walk in, I'm like, wow, I got a round of applause. And it's just the traps. The traps killing 100 mice at once.
Oh my God.
Stop. I got one more for you. Rodents have apparently gnawed clear through the dense plastic of New York's supposedly rat-proof new trash bins.
Oh my God.
Did you know that
They have not, or they have?
They have. Did you know your city has supposedly rat-proof trash cans?
I just knew we had a rat czar.
Yes. Correct.
No, the rat-proof trash cans were a big thing because they spent like millions and millions of dollars to figure out a way to because before they would just dump the garbage bags on the street. They would just dump black garbage garbage bags on the street, and that's how we dealt with trash. And then they spent millions and millions of dollars to figure out a better way. And this consultant company was like, "How about trash cans?" They were like, "Genius."
What? It's worked in other parts of the world. We're going to try it here.
It's
Yeah.
really scary to go out on trash night, though. That's the one rat story I told about kicking the rat
Yes.
last night.
Yeah.
That was trash night. I mean, you got to be careful. They're out feeding.
Well, they do trash pickup at night in New York because in the 80s you would put out your trash during the day, and apparently people were getting mugged. So then they said do it at night. I don't understand the
What the
logic
hell?
there.
What?
Or-
Why were they getting mugged
Or
in
no,
the
wait,
day?
because pickup was during the day, so people would put out their trash at night, and then they would get mugged.
Oh.
So now pickup is at night, so people put out during the day, and they're allegedly safe. It's just so dumb. Everything there is dumb.
Wow,
I
we
hate
put our
paying
trash
somebody-
out at night. Do you put your trash out at night?
No, but like Chinese restaurants and stuff,
Oh,
like they put their
right.
stuff out at night.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It says that these now ruined $50 lidded rolling cans, dubbed the New York City bin, they've only been out for several weeks. In the fine print on the warranty on this thing says it does not cover, quote, damage from wildlife.
Oh my God! Warning does not work.
Oh my God.
What the fuck?
Warning: this thing is pointless.
Oh my God. What a city.
Millions of dollars.
Yep. So don't be upset about your tax money going to that. They'll figure it out eventually. How much more touring do you two have together this year?
That's it. Oh no, we have more later in the year.
We got Connecticut, Long Island.
We have Babylon, New York.
Babylon, New York next Sunday,
Governors.
and we had like one other thing I thought, or maybe.
Were
Yeah.
either of you at the Comedy Cellar when Amy Schumer brought up Madonna last Saturday?
No, I was there when she brought her like 8 years ago.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she's tiny. Oh my God. That was before all the face work. I mean, she'd had some,
Sure.
but I didn't see her this time. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you watch her set last time?
No, she it was one of those things. I had a set and then we heard that she was coming, and then I waited downstairs with like a million other people and she walked down the stairs. She just floated down with like her posse,
Oh wow.
and she was like so tiny next to me.
Yeah, I don't understand that why she has to do stand up. I mean,
Yeah.
she has a successful career. She could just talk on stage when she performs music.
But is it stand up? Is she telling jokes? Have you read anything about it? Because I don't.
Yeah, she's trying to tell. I mean, it's
Like
stories.
she's like, so my daughter.
Funny stories.
Really?
I believe is what she has. Yes.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, did we talk about last night the viral tweet where somebody quoted it and said the no material girl?
The no material girl. That was great.
Did you tell me that?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was on Threads because it said the headline was Madonna bombs at the Comedy Cellar, and it was like somebody wrote the no material girl.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's so perfect.
But that
Yeah.
headline was like, oh, what a shock. The person that doesn't tell jokes didn't tell a joke properly.
Imagine that. I found out about it first because I was on Facebook and saw Brian Scalaro write a post about it. And he wrote, so apparently Madonna's doing stand-up. Does that mean I get to fuck basketball players now?
Oh, my God.
Jeez.
He says, for real, just leave our fucking job alone. Everyone wants to do our job when their careers end. Yikes.
He's a lifelong comedian.
Yikes.
So he's okay.
But
He's
is her career ending? I mean, it's the same as.
Yeah, I mean, she's still touring.
Yeah.
Shows up, hour and a half late and turns the heat up because she's cold and old.
Well, Brian doesn't sound bitter at all.
Yeah. Seriously.
What if the next time you're there, she's back in and then she asks you to help write jokes for her? Would both of you do that?
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I want to know how much she's paying me, but yes, I'm interested.
Yeah.
You could find Madonna's voice.
Yeah, listen to some albums.
I
don't know.
Yeah, I think she'll probably take anything at this point.
I doubt she writes her own lyrics, right? Like, don't all those people have people write their lyrics for them and producers that do the melodies?
Oh, good point. Yeah.
It's like Britney Spears, like all of her lyrics were written by a Swedish guy. That's why they don't make sense. That's why they're like, hit me baby one more time. Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, right,
Like,
right.
What does that mean?
Right. One of my favorite moments of last night was, I don't remember how it came up, but someone in the audience said skull,
Oh, yeah.
Andrew. And
I
you
didn't
were
know. I never heard that.
completely caught off guard. You were like, what the fuck is this person talking about? Yeah. What were you talking about before then that brought that up?
Well, I was talking about the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's
And then
right.
somebody yelled out skull.
Yes.
Skull.
Yeah.
And then I had to figure out and translate if he had Tourette's or what was wrong with him. And then it turned out it was Swedish, but the guy who said it was like Puerto Rican. So then there was another layer of confusion there where I had to figure out why a Puerto Rican guy is speaking Swedish. And then I figured out that it's the Vikings.
Yeah.
That's their like cheer.
Yes. It's in a song, like a song about the Vikings that plays after they score touchdowns. And then at the beginning of the game, there's this chant and people clap above their heads.
And they just say skull. Like
skull!
it's like ole.
Skull!
It's like ole in Spanish. They say skull.
Yes. Very similar.
And it's extra confusing because when I grew up in Virginia, everyone puts skull in their mouth. Skull.
Right.
Yes, the chew.
The
The
bandits.
chew.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know if it was just the area where I lived or if it was a fad, but yeah, everyone would just have these huge.
Oh, it was everywhere. It was so disgusting because you'd be like talking to a guy who's hitting on you, and he's like pretty hot, and then he'd go,
yeah.
like he just spits out in a cup, and it's like, oh.
And then one of my, like a party, everyone has like the red Solo cups, and my
Yep.
friend drank the wrong cup, and it was just the
Oh my
guy's
God.
skull spit.
Yeah, I have firsthand knowledge of that.
Did you throw up?
No, I took a very small sip of what I thought was my can of Pepsi. and it-
No!
Yeah.
It's even more deceptive.
Yeah. And it was my buddies that he'd been spitting in, but I didn't thankfully try to like guzzle it. I took a small.
that's so gross.
I know, and it like he had just been recently spitting in it, so it was still like warm body temp. Oh.
It's like you guys made out.
Oh, wow, that's not so bad. But no, it was. Oh, I
Yeah.
know. We should have just gone all the way after that. Been like, fuck it.
It's like 2 layers of gross because you're like somebody's germs, and also it's a cancer-causing thing. So
Yeah.
you're like, did somebody's spit give me a tumor? Like one day?
Let's talk about it more.
I didn't swallow, by the way, for the record.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever tried it? Not the
Oh,
not
yeah,
the
I've
swallowing
chewed.
someone putting a chew in.
In college,
You
yeah,
did?
I did. And one time it felt really good, and another time it felt disgusting.
Yeah, it can really knock you.
It
on
can
your
really
butt.
give you a high,
Uh-huh.
or yeah.
It's dizzying.
I was always scared of like the raw stuff, so they have the thing called a pouch where
yeah.
the stuff is put in a convenient pouch. I guess that is not as masculine as just putting crap in your jaw or whatever. So I put the pouch in, and then I just got a super high. Like it was crazy. Did that happen to you? I was like on cloud 9. Like I could see why people get addicted.
Oh, I remember one of the first times I tried it. I couldn't I was sitting and I couldn't stand up.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. It was like it wasn't like being drunk, and it wasn't like spinning around or whatever, being dizzy. It was like another third feeling.
I brought some. Let's all try it right now.
Do people
No, I'm
still do
kidding.
it though, or is that a thing now?
Well, people
or-
do Zyn now. That's like
now
Gen
it's
Z's.
now they're discreet.
It's called Zen.
Yeah, Zyn is something you can put in your mouth and then swallow the goo.
Yeah, people they don't spit anymore.
Oh.
They just Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these kids are like getting all. We used to call it nicked up, where you would like put a lot of tobacco in your mouth. These kids are just sitting there getting nicked up, ruining their brains. Like the brains are already fried from TikTok, and now they got pure nicotine 24/7.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that before we wrap things up here. One of the topics you and I talked about in the past, Carmen, was how you had done that CBS Morning News thing
Yes.
about getting big on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What are your thoughts now that it was almost gone and could be in the future?
I mean, I'm not as addicted to it. I think COVID really helped me get addicted to TikTok.
Yeah.
I still post stuff, but the algorithm is different, and I'm not as obsessed with it. You know, once you're on the road, you have like more stuff to do.
Sure.
But I didn't care. Like if it's gone, it's gone. I
Okay.
don't,
Even about so you was what any advantage it's giving you in your career? You're like, I'll
I
get
mean,
that
I don't
someplace
ask the
else.
audience if they follow my TikTok, but a lot of times I know it's like kids. Like my friends will be like, "My kids love you," and
Oh,
I'm
and they're
like,
not-
"Ew!"
yeah,
Like they're not coming to a show.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not as into it anymore.
Okay.
But I still please follow me at Carmen Comedian. Thank you.
When you do post, they're very funny. You've got
Thank
these
you.
little videos that are really good.
Well, I'm super into it because the TikTok pays you if you make a video over a minute, and it pays you a lot of money. So I was getting like a couple grand every month.
That's
Seriously?
really good.
Yeah, I was like rolling in the dough, and then they were like, TikTok's getting banned. I'm like, oh, God. I got to work at 7-Eleven.
I always forget the longer than a minute thing.
Yeah, and I thought, like, I was growing a following. I'm like, wow, I'm going to sell out. And then I think my first road show was in Baltimore, and they were like, yeah, there's like 4 people. They're my friends. They're like... And I'm like, okay, so this is nothing. This
It doesn't
do anything.
translate. It doesn't. It really sucks. Like it's discouraging. But
Okay.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
discouraging. But then when the money you get paid, then that's just like a job.
yeah,
I don't think it moves ticket sales unless you're going viral for stand up. I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I was making like videos about the news.
Okay.
No one cares. No one wants to see the video about the news guy on stage.
Do you put those other places too?
Yeah, they don't do as well because TikTok is great because it shows you to strangers.
Yeah.
And then the strangers like it, and then more strangers see it. Instagram, I'm being shown to like my childhood bully and my mom. And they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And so like it just syncs the algorithm because it shows you to the people that know you personally first.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm like, I'm so embarrassed. Like the kid that said I smell weird in 8th grade doesn't like my video. So
Showing
no one else...
you're seeing you show yourself vulnerable now as an adult. Right?
Yeah, it's just like kills you. And then I have friends that are like, yeah, I'm getting paid big bucks on Facebook. I'm like, I am not posting
what?
on that.
That never worked for me.
I'm not posting any comedy content on Facebook. It's just promoting shows because I don't want like my aunt who has Parkinson's to see my material. Like that's all who's gonna see it is like people I know from grade school and my aunt.
I have to mention that also when I was looking stuff up about you today, I was reminded that I was a fan of the podcast you did with Steve Rogers.
You listened to that?
I did.
Oh my
Sweet.
god!
I was like, I
as-
saw the name. I was like, wait a minute. I liked that show.
As soon as we stopped it, everyone's been saying that. I'm like, where were you? But when I would go on the road, when we did the podcast, there was always like 10 people that liked the podcast. But I was like, still wasn't enough to keep it going. It was a
Sure.
lot of work.
Okay.
Because we had to do the video. You know, you got a guy back there. It was
got a
just
guy.
Andrew Schiavone was doing the video editing.
We need Brandon for our
I know.
podcast. I know podcasts are a lot of work. I had a Spanish one and an English one at the same time. And when they both stopped at the same time, I felt so liberated. Like I had so much extra time.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
You were doing the one with your boyfriend.
In English, yeah. And then I was doing a different one with this guy in Spanish.
Oh,
And,
okay.
And if they're not like kicking ass, it's almost not worth it. It's so time consuming.
Yeah. It's because it is a lot of work, and then you know, when you stop it, because then like TikTok's paying me $1,000 every million views, so then you're like, I'll just keep doing this. But I do think about the podcast,
Isn't that interesting?
but I do think like it's podcasts are in kind of a lull right now. I feel like they kind of got oversaturated, and then everyone stopped theirs at once, and people are still continuing to stop their podcasts. So as soon as it bottoms out, I'm gonna jump back in.
There you go, back in.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
then the work will be worth it, and everything.
For people who maybe want to check it out, it's still posted out
Yeah,
there?
it's all on YouTube.
What's it
I
called?
pay the hosting fee every month. It's Panic Attacking.
Yeah, Panic Attacking.
We had Brian Regan, Carmen was on.
I was on.
We also had Taylor Tomlinson before she became famous, and Joe List.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. I honestly, I liked it. I was like, oh, I remember this.
Well, thanks, man.
Son of a
Appreciate
gun.
it.
Well, if you bring it back, you got a subscriber already.
Okay, yeah. I think Steve is done with it. I feel like, but I'll talk to him.
It's a great title, though, too.
It's a
Yeah.
fantastic title.
Steve thought of the title. He gave me permission to keep doing it, but I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But we'll bring it back.
And you're done for now, then, Carmen? Doing
I'm
podcasts?
done for now. I started one last year, but we had issues with some of the sound people. Well, it's a long story, but we might bring it back.
Okay.
It was kind of a Spanish-English combo.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Right on. I enjoyed the one you did too. I was kind of bummed that
Thanks.
one
God,
went
I was
away.
waiting for you to say something.
My
I've
God,
told you that in the past. This wouldn't have been the first time.
Yeah.
It's
could've.
on record that I've told you.
No,
that in
you
the
have.
past.
You
I
have.
definitely have. Let's see. Final thing here is people need to come see the shows here this weekend. We'll get
Please.
this out as soon as possible.
Please
so.
come out, people. I mean,
Follow
how
both
much
you on
more
social
promoting
media.
can we do?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Carmen has little stickers, merch stickers that
I
are
have
fun.
merch. I have magnets
Or
for
magnets.
sale.
Yeah, magnets. Pardon me.
You get a sticker if you sign up for my mailing list, and it's just fun. Come see us.
Yeah, it was a really fun show.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. Thank you for doing this.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you for
you.
having us. Thank you for coming last night. That's great.
And
That's
tell
good
your wife
research.
we loved the video.
And
I'm
then
going
she should
to.
post it. She should post it.